Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker, and this is our market recap for the week ending August 11th. So in this video, we'll take a look at the charts, then we'll go over some news, and then we'll look at the economic calendar coming up for next week. So starting here with the S&P 500 Spider ETF, as you can see, back-to-back red weeks here in the S&P 500, pulling back down into these highs from June, getting a nice bounce today with a pulling down into that lower extreme and running into these previous highs. Turning to the debt market here with the U.S. 10-year yield, another green week here in the U.S. 10-year yield as it does continue to move up here, breaking above this significant resistance from past February and July. As you can see, really bouncing here off that daily midline on Thursday and getting another nice move up today. Looking at the dollar, big green week here in the dollar, getting up through that weekly midline. That's what we were talking about in last week's recap. As you can see, pulling down into that daily midline and pushing up here and breaking above these highs from last week today, making its way up here towards that upper extreme on the daily chart. Turning to cryptocurrencies, we'll start here with Bitcoin. Green week here in Bitcoin finally has had 3 red weeks in a row. As you can see, getting really close to that weekly midline, but really just pulling into these previous highs back here from May 29th. As you can see here on the daily chart, I can zoom out, pulling down into these previous highs back here. Hopefully we do get a bounce off this level. It is looking really squeezed here on this weekly chart and still holding that uptrend line. So I would like to see a nice move to the upside coming next week. Looking at XRP, green week here in XRP. If you remember last week's video, I did say I expected a lot of support once we did break down through that 60-cent level. And as you can see here, breaking down and hitting a low of 59 cents and then getting a nice bounce here off that level. Still consolidating down here in the lower end of this daily range. But it is nice to see a green candle here on the week after pulling back for 3 weeks. We are pulling down into this very significant previous resistance level, which we do expect to turn into support. So we just need Bitcoin to get a nice move here, and then I would expect XRP to outperform and get a nice move, hopefully breaking above this multi-year downtrend that we've been in. Turning to commodities, we'll start here with oil. Oil continuing its parabolic move to the upside. As you can see, another green week this week, breaking above last week's highs and really pushing into that upper extreme here on the weekly chart. Looking at the daily chart over here, just really holding that midline and just continuing its uptrend. Turning to gold, big red week here in gold, breaking down through that midline here on the weekly chart, really pushing down in and coming for a retest of these lows from July and June. Looking at silver here, as you can see, kind of the same story here in silver. Another big red week, breaking down through that midline and coming in for a retest of these previous lows from June and July, getting closer to that lower extreme here on the weekly chart. Now we can look at some news, starting here with the consumer price index, which is the inflation numbers, coming in at 3.2% with 3.3% expected. And we did have a previous inflation data come in at 3%. So we did have an increase in the rate of change in inflation. We also had the producer price index, which is the producer inflation index, coming in at 0.8% with 0.7% expected and 0.2 previous. This is a chart here showing the year-over-year percent change from June of 2022, which was the peak in inflation, versus the July 2023 CPI report with the lower rates of inflation in fuel oil, gasoline, gas, utilities, used cars, medical care, electricity, apparel, new cars, food at home, and food away from home, which is kind of driving the lower prices down. But don't get it wrong, inflation is still increasing. It's just increasing at a slower rate. Well, I guess since last month, it has increased at a faster pace. We also have the debt to income ratio for all home buyers here passing the great financial crisis levels, which is nearing the worst affordability levels ever. We also have, this is a chart showing the buying versus renting in America. As you can see, it is much more expensive to buy a house than to rent. This is the median selling price of a U.S. single family home. As you can see, new homes and existing homes are currently selling for the exact same price. We also had some breaking news that the Federal Reserve now requires approval before state banks can issue, hold, or transact crypto stablecoin payments. We had 67 country leaders have been officially invited to the BRICS summit that is scheduled for next month, August, or actually later in this month, August 22nd through 24th. This is the business demand for bank loans, as you can see, really dropping here, falling to their lowest level since 2008. We also have the average monthly payment for a new car in the U.S. hitting a record of $736 in the last month, which is a 28% increase over the last 3 years. And we also had some news that PayPal launched a crypto stablecoin, and the Congress and the larger banks are warning most other financial institutions to stop doing business with PayPal, because you know how banks hate cryptocurrencies because it is a new type of financial system that the banks and the incumbents are trying to avoid. But I do want to say that this PayPal USD coin was issued on Ethereum, so it's pretty trash. Like, you know, the Ethereum gas fees are just horrible. I can't see this being a very useful type of payment system here. Now we can look at the economic calendar for next week. So it looks like Tuesday we get core retail sales and retail sales. Wednesday we get building permits, crude oil inventories, and the FOMC meeting minutes. And then Thursday we get initial jobless claims and the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. So yeah, that should do it for the video. Appreciate y'all watching, and I will talk to y'all later.